Hello, I'm Richard with EV4U Custom Conversions, and welcome to the second in a series of episodes featuring this 1991 Volkswagen double cab transporter. In the first episode, we showed you the vehicle, kind of introduced it, told you about the trip to go down and pick it up, 26-hour round trip from our shop to go get this thing. So now we get to the fun part, the conversion. So it's still gasoline powered. We drive it occasionally. Great little shop truck. But we're wanting to make sure that this thing is in good shape. And so we're pretty much done with all of our road testing. And in this episode, we're going to talk about our battery rack. The batteries are going to be contained in the side of the vehicle. There's a cavity that goes across the entire width of the vehicle, and the batteries are going to be enclosed in there. So let's take a close-up look at the battery containment for the transporter project. Okay, here's the side of the transporter with the what's commonly called the treasure chest, door open. And here's a couple of our Calb CA 180 series cells in there. And you can see it's a tight fit, but you're not seeing the whole picture. Right here's the latch for the door, and it's raised up, and so our rack has to clear that. And then there's gusseting in here at an angle, and then of course this is the retainer that holds the door open. So between all those dimensions, it really is a very tight fit. But the big picture is to have, this is two cells sitting here in case you can't see it on camera. There's going to be 38 cells in this conversion, and so it's going to be 2 rows of 19. And we've designed a battery containment system that's going to allow us to roll out those cells out this door for the ability to connect them up and to inspect, so forth. So because there's 19, we can't split it exactly in half, so 18 will go out one side and 20 will come out the other. And we'll put the little larger side on the passenger side here. It's only a 25-pound difference, but you always have a driver, you won't always have a passenger, and that'll put a little bit extra weight on the passenger side, keep things balanced. And the distance between the two racks, you'll see, is very little. So let's take a look at what we came up with. Right, here's our battery rack. This will be down in the treasure chest, and this will hold 2 rows of 10 for 20 cells. This will hold 2 rows of 9 for 18 cells for our 38 total. And it's designed to allow us to slide batteries out the vehicle to allow for service, installation, so forth. So these are heavy-duty roller glides. They're good for 350 pounds per pair, and our batteries are quite a bit less than that. They're on a common mount, and this mount will be bolted into the vehicle. It's a stamped plate like this with the ribs, and so it's not like we're bolting to a frame. So what we're going to do is, like we do on most of the VW and unibodies, where there isn't a place that's got extra support, we will strap it. So we will have a strap that will run underneath the vehicle and basically be sandwiching the sheet metal of the floor of the treasure chest between this 3/16 thick angle and our strap, which will be 2 inches wide and go the full length, and have probably 5 attachment points on each side. A lot of people build aluminum battery boxes. They're sheet aluminum, and they're bent and made into a box. The real problem with that, in my mind, is that in a collision, that material rips very easily. And so it doesn't take much to have that battery containment come loose and cause you problems. We design them so that it'll withstand, all moderate collisions and even some major ones without jeopardizing the batteries or occupants or anybody else. This has the double feature of being within the treasure chest, so it's secured within a non-passenger carrying part of the vehicle. But you also want that if somebody pulls out in front of you or rear ends you or whatever the case may be, that our batteries are going to be intact. And so we give up a little bit in weight, but we give it up for safety. And safety's first with us. It trumps everything else. So these are heavy enough to not only support our batteries, but to contain them in the vehicle for any normal anticipated use, as well as for those occasional unexpected circumstances. So let me give you a little bit closer up view of these and how they're constructed. And then in a later episode we'll show you them installed. What's left to do here is we've got some finish grinding to do. They have to be cleaned up, painted, and of course installed. This is a very tight fit in there, and that's going to be a job that requires some finesse, because at the point with the final installation they're going to be painted and everything, and we use a good epoxy paint, but we don't want to rub anything going in. We don't want to scratch the vehicle or our battery boxes. So it'll be done with some finesse, but we'll definitely let you take a look at that after installation. So that's next, installing this and finishing it. After that, we'll be pulling the gasoline engine. We're finished with all our road testing and so forth. So we'll be pulling the internal combustion engine and related components out of the vehicle. So stay tuned for that in an upcoming episode. And then we'll be designing and building the adapter and coupler for our AC75 motor. And this will be fun. This is a kind of tight engine bay. We have access from the bottom, from the back, and a little bit from the top here. I don't know how much use this is really going to be, except for maybe some of the wiring, but for most things we'll be catching it from underneath. And once the gasoline engine's out, we'll have a lot more room underneath to work without an exhaust system and all the other crap in our way. Having a 9-inch motor down there opens up a lot of room. So we'll be doing additional things also. The owner of the vehicle wants us to put a new transaxle in that he sent us, constant velocity joints, front wheel bearings, brakes, shift linkage components. We'll be doing a lot of additional work to this vehicle than just converting it. We don't normally do that. We're basically a conversion shop as far as the mechanics end of it goes. But this guy has kind of a unique circumstance, and so we'll be doing some extra work for him as a favor. So let's take a close-up look, and then we'll see you next time. Okay. We'll zoom in and take a closer look at our battery racks. The 38 cells in this conversion will weigh 475 pounds. We will be able to slide these in and out. Like I said, 475 pounds, and these glides are good for 350 pounds per side. So no problem there getting this to work. It's a 3-section slide. This is made from 1/8-inch stock. There will be ABS insert in there, 3/16 black ABS. And we'll stick a couple cells in there and let you see what it looks like with the cells installed. A little bit of a gap here because these have a different number of cells in them, and so it would be centered in the vehicle. You're just a little bit off in the center, like I said, so our weight distribution is just slightly heavy on the passenger side by about 25 pounds. Not a big deal. So let's take a look at it with some cells in. I just loaded a few cells in here. Let you see how it fits. These will actually sit up another 3/16 of an inch higher than they are right now once the ABS bottom is in. These actually slide easier with some weight in them than the glides do with just the battery frame in there. So, very nice. This is going to work real slick, and we will have these held down and together so that these two racks won't move. So there you have it, kind of the overview of the battery containment system going to be used on our 91 transporter project. So work still to be done. Get them cleaned up and pretty and installed in the vehicle, and then the batteries will be put in just to get them out of the way. They'll be in the vehicle, but we won't wire them up till later in the game, and we'll share that with you also. But you can see how trying to get into that little hole would be difficult. So we'll be doing wiring and so forth before we install this. That's why we're not showing you this now. Install in the vehicle, because it won't be installed immediately. And then once it is, like I said, the batteries will be put in place and they'll sit there, and we'll connect the interconnects later on. That's one of the last things we'll do. So we hope you join us for the rest of this project. It's going to be a little different than what you've seen from us in the past. Not that we haven't done bigger and heavier vehicles in this, but we haven't showed them on video. And we'll do our best to show this one on video. The customer has graciously allowed us to use this vehicle for that purpose. When doing this, it takes a little extra time because we have to consider taking the opportunities to video this and not get too carried away and skip some things and not share that. For instance, at the welder's shop, I forgot the camera, so no video. I could have used my phone, but we were busy and no way to support the phone, and so I got some stills, which I fortunately remembered to do. So we'll share those with you, part of this video, but and kind of show you how we laid this out and put it together. It always interests me that little things, like just little battery boxes, there's a lot more work goes into it than meets the eye. Getting these things square and everything, things change with the heat. That's why I don't do it myself. I'm not that good of a welder, so we have a couple different gentlemen that do it for us. The guy that did this, he does a lot of our more difficult ones. This one being really tight, wanted to be able to consult with him on fitment and get a second opinion. I do all the design work, but it's nice to have a second opinion, and I'll typically do all the measuring and cutting, and he does the welding, and we whip them out fairly quickly, but there's still an amazing amount of work that goes into something even as simple looking as this, to get things where they fit correctly and work the way you want them to. So this is only 10 cells, just to give you an idea how they'll go in. I don't have the polarity set or anything, I just dropped them in the hole here. So but just give you an idea how they're supported. There is room to where we will put our ABS sides in there. We'll always do that so that our battery cells are not rubbing against metal. They have a plastic against plastic scenario, which protects them. Also gives it a nice look. And so that's really slides nice and easy. Just the way I pictured it in my head. Now all we have to do is get it to fit in that little hole in the side of the car. Yeah, if you look at the stills, you'll see that we did place things in and fit it along the way. That's why we take the vehicle to the welding shop with us, so that we can make sure everything fits perfect. And in this case, we have very, very tight tolerances, and so it's nice to know that it is going to work before you go to try and put something in that tight clearance and find out it's not going to work because the batteries sit higher than your frame, and you were just designing off the frame, or whatever the case may be. It's easy to make mistakes when you're dealing with tight tolerances. So we take our time and do it a phase at a time to make sure that everything is as we designed and planned. And so like I said, these will sit up just a little bit higher than the frame. But that's it. So hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching.